What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Layup Game, episode 117. This is the average man's perspective on football. I'm your co-host, Marcus.
You ain't first, you're last.
Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
You are a hater.
Yeah, I told you I'm leaving. Bye.
Next up,
Not my intro.
Say what up, Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Oh, hey, thank you for joining us.
You'll be playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Bill, me. Yeah.
I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. It's different.
And they 0-3. They won't make the playoffs again this year. Next up is Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old. Damn. I'm sorry.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe. Especially if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, Delay a Game. You can catch us on Twitter at Delay a Game 3 and on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. No telling when the last time those two social media accounts have been updated, but you can check us out there anyway.
Really? That's what we're doing?
Easy.
I'm just saying.
Mr. Let's put the show out a day before the show comes on, but that's another topic.
Hey, I gotta wait till I see what happens, week 7 is in the books. Got some good games, some very good games, some injuries. Herman, you are hosting tonight, Herman. Go ahead and start us off.
All right, thanks everybody for joining. As you can see, there's only 4 of us on the show this week. That means that somebody's team must have lost. And we'll talk about that later on.
I was like, where's he going?
I forgot about that.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first news story. Marcus, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Thank you. So after the Buccaneers-Panthers game on Sunday, 2 referees were accused of asking wide receiver Mike Evans for an autograph, which is against league rules and apparently a big deal, something you can get in real big trouble for.
Yeah.
The NFL announced Tuesday that it determined officials Jeff Lamberth and Trip Sutter did not ask Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans for an autograph, though it certainly looked like it. And one of the referees is a fellow alumni of Texas A&M University, along with Mike Evans. So apparently, I didn't put this in the story, but apparently one of the referees was he knew that Mike Evans wanted golf lessons, and he knew a golf pro.
That's a good
cover up. It's a good cover up.
So he was writing down a phone number. Yeah, that's what Dude never lifted up his pen. Okay, straight.
If that ain't the worst excuse I ever heard in my life.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow. All right, so I'm going to take the next news story. Striking quickly to fill a sudden void in their backfield, the New York Jets acquired running back James Robinson in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sources confirmed to ESPN on Monday night. So yeah, they Bryce Hall. He was a little shining star back there in their backfield. That was a big hit to them, but I think James Robinson's gonna do pretty good. I think he was splitting the carries with Etienne, so now he gets to be the featured back. So we'll see how that works out for the Jets. Brian, I'll throw to you for the next news story.
All right. After the loss to the Titans on Sunday, Colts quarterback, why didn't I put his name in there? Matt. What's his name? Matt. Ryan. Suffered a shoulder separation. Sam Ellinger will start Sunday against the Commanders and for the rest of the season possibly. So we may have seen the last of Matt Ryan in a Colts uniform, and this makes the 7th quarterback that Reich will be coaching.
Man, they get rid of Matt Ryan.
Came out and said they was benching him. They said he said if he wasn't hurt, he still wasn't going to play. So.
Yeah.
So that's three starting quarterbacks and just gone like after one season.
Yep.
It's crazy.
All right, Mark, why don't you go ahead and wrap us up with the last news story of the night?
Last story we got here is the Philadelphia Eagles acquire pass rusher Robert Quinn from Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick. He only has 1 sack and 3 quarterback hits this season, but is one of 7 active players with at least 100 career sacks. He and former teammate Aaron Donald both have 102. So they just acquired a pass rusher in Robert Quinn.
Right.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
We're so going to get this.
That's why I paused, because I knew you wanted to play that. I just let him play it. So, all right, y'all. Let's get into the hot topic of the week. With the abysmal start to their season, which perennial playoff team will rebound and get into the playoffs this season? You have a choice between the Rams, the Bucks, the Packers, and the Steelers. Mark, I will let you go first with this one.
Out of the teams, I guess I'm gonna start it in order from the least to the most current. I'm gonna probably have to start off with my Steelers. Our word is the word for us right now. It's gonna be rebounding. After bye week, you may see the duties of offensive coordinator moved over to the assistant quarterback coach, Mike Sullivan. Some changes has to be done. This league, the league is built to be aggressive, and we're nowhere near being aggressive on offense. So Steelers will probably be the least team. The second one I would probably have to say for me would be the Buccaneers. Embarrassing loss by the Tampa Bay last week. Brady looks slow. He looks old. He's got some issues. I don't think they're going to rebound from this. Next team I'm going to have to say is Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is Mr. Attitude. He's going out his way. Them not having Devontae Adams, they really missed him. Him not being comfortable with his receivers is really has a glaring effect on that offense. But they can pull it together, but I think they still got a little way to go. The team that I think could put it all together and make a playoff run is the Rams. Although they have problems on the offensive line, Allen Robinson is still missing he's on a milk carton still, but they got to find a way to find some people to step up. But I think the Rams can dig themselves out of it. But I'm going to throw another 5th team in there real quick to kind of keep an eye on, and that's San Francisco. The recent trade with McCaffrey and Jimmy G. Jimmy G has to find a way to at least throw some deep balls. Everybody know he loves throwing the middle. He loves throwing the short pass, the hitches, the short read. It's going to get old real fast, real soon. So Jimmy G will have to learn how to do the deep ball and get this team. But I think the Rams are the ones going to pull themselves out of this slump and make the playoff run.
Brian?
Yeah, I like where you were going there, Mark. I like, I agree, with Pittsburgh. Even though Mike Tomlin is a great coach and has never had a losing season, they look pretty bad their last outing. So I kind of don't see them getting it back on track. I think this is just going to be a rebuild season, a learning process for their new quarterback. Then I looked at the Rams, to be honest with you, because of what you said about the 49ers. Now the Rams they're in second place right now. They're 3-3. The Seahawks are 4-3, so they lead that division. But the Niners are right behind them.
Seahawks look good.
Yeah, but the Niners are right behind them at 3-4, and the Cardinals are at 3-4. But again, with the addition to McCaffrey, I think that the Niners could probably overtake the Rams. They normally, when they play head to head, the Niners normally beat them anyway. So I think the Rams are not going to be able to rebound from this one. And then I wanted to go with the Packers because of the most recent comments from Rodgers, talking about kind of not going scorched earth, but more like maybe it's a good thing that they play the Bills this week. Making me kind of curious on how well they may play. But they really don't have a decent chance, because I'm not sure if I still have the faith in the Vikings. They're 5-1, and I think that the Packers, I think they match up with the Vikings pretty well, so they might get to it. But I definitely need to see how they play this week. But I'm going with the Bucks, and the reason why I'm going with the Bucks is because that whole division sucks. The Vikings suck. I'm sorry, the Falcons suck, the Panthers suck, and the Saints suck. So I think that the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs by default just because they don't suck as much of the division. So if I had to choose one, I think I'm going with the old Tom Brady and the Bucs.
Marcus?
So I guess we all go to the same place. So the Steelers, even though I hate to say it, I think starting from least to most, I think the Steelers have the least chance. I don't know when Watt is coming back. The defense is not looking great.
Well, he's been practicing, so he may be
practicing?
back soon. Yes.
Okay, so defense is not looking great. I do prefer pick what's the quarterback's name? Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Over Trash Pisky.
His name is Little Hands.
But it still might not be enough for this year. The Steelers have waited. They waited too long to come up with a replacement for Big Ben, and it's showing. And they'll be rebuilding. Next up is the Packers. I think the Packers are garbage right now. I think Aaron Rodgers, I think his time is coming to an end. I don't think the Packers will improve. They got rid of the best receiver last year, and it shows. They're not a good team. They didn't have against my Washington Commanders last week. They didn't have 1 third down conversion, which is crazy. How do you not have 1 third down? And the Commanders defense is terrible. So I don't know how you don't have at least 1 third down conversion. And they're going to lose against. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers says. They're going to lose against the Bills. They're probably going to get blown out a whole lot. Okay, Bills are probably the best team in the NFL, and they're going to smoke these guys. Next up is the Buccaneers. I know I heard what you said, Brian, about them being in the worst division, but Tom Brady should have retired. he stayed 1 year longer than he should have, maybe 2 years. Maybe he should retire after that Super Bowl win. The Buccaneers are terrible. You got Mike Evans dropping clear-cut touchdown passes wide open by himself. The defense isn't as good. I just hate that probably Todd Bowles is going to take a lot of heat for this, and he probably won't last long as the head coach. And then they're not good. I don't think they'll recover. I can't say for sure who will win that division, but I would be surprised if the Bucs do. They just look terrible. And the Rams would be my number one pick, even though I think they look terrible too. They got one wide receiver. They're basically shoving it down Cooper Kupp's throat. That's the only person they will throw to. Stafford is taking, I think he leads the league in sacks. They're out of the four, they're the ones likely to make it, but I doubt they make it. So that's my.
You think none of them? You think all of them are done?
I think all of them are done.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, especially those teams in the only the Steelers are in the AFC. I mean, the way it's looking, the NFC East might put 3 teams out in the playoffs. So that's automatically eliminating the Rams, the Packers, and the Buccaneers. If they have all 3, if the 3 teams I think from the East might make it.
Well, then you got to figure. I mean, each division gets a winner, so you got to figure. Are you saying that the Vikings are going to probably win the North?
Yeah, the Vikings win the North.
You think
Seattle might win the West, or the 49ers? But it won't be. It probably won't be. Yeah, but if 3 teams,
who do you think is going to win the South? I'm curious.
I don't know. I just don't think it'll be Buccaneers. They all suck. To be honest with you, they all suck.
Do. They do.
They all suck.
Money down. You got to pick one of them. Save your life. You count on Brady?
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Okay. They're in last place right now.
I'm still gonna go with the Saints. Buccaneers suck.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean this list. I'm gonna put them in order. Yeah, got to start with the Steelers, Mark, just because the AFC is one of the strong is of course the stronger conference. I will say this though. I think y'all found your quarterback in Pickett. I think he battled back. I think in that game, and you know he almost put him in position to come back and win that game. But I'm gonna start with the Steelers. Say least likely. It's almost listed in order. The Packers are a dumpster fire right now. The Vikings should be able to win this division pretty easily, in all honesty, the way I see it. I mean, the Green Bay is going into Buffalo this week, and it's going to be a 3rd loss in a row.
And
3 in a row.
Herman believes.
I mean, I've always believed in Kirk Cousins. That's Marcus the one who hates on Kirk Cousins. But it's not so much the belief in Kirk Cousins as it is the belief in how bad the Packers are. Like,
the disbelief in the Packers, right?
Yeah, they totally underestimated what losing, Adams was going to do to them. Like they talked about how Dallas let Cooper go, man, and they didn't even hardly talk about Adams because they said they got Aaron Rodgers. If the Packers could, the smart thing they would do right now, and I know they can't do it because of his contract, is try to trade him and get some picks and be done with it. You know what I mean? Go ahead and start Love and just be done with it at this point. But because like Big Reg said, you can't have the leader of the team doing what he's doing right now. It is totally ridiculous. And then I have to go with the Rams because the NFC West, that's going to be a good battle for that division. The Seahawks, yeah, they're in first place right now. Not sure how much I trust Geno, even though he's playing really good football. Got to look at the 49ers now because they just added McCaffrey. That gives them another weapon if he can stay on the field. And their defense, I think, is getting ready to start getting healthy. So that division, that's rough. Out of this list, the easiest one to pick is the Bucs because, like Brian said, they're in the sorriest division. Point blank period. As soon as I looked at this, I was like, okay, who can win their division off of this? And it was the Bucs. And yeah, the Saints, they're Jameson is hurt, and now it looks like might have a quarterback controversy because Andy Dalton actually has been playing pretty good. But
except for those two back-to-back
except for that, yeah. But other than that, he was playing pretty good. And the Saints have been injured. A lot of their offensive weapons haven't been out there. But I always say it comes down to who has the best quarterback in the division. And as bad as Brady's played, Brady is still the top quarterback in that division, hands down. So I think the Bucs will find a way to get it together, and they'll win the division. And they'll make it to the playoffs. So that's my order, basically. Steelers least, Packers next least, Rams, and then the Bucs.
So real quick before we drop off this topic, which quarterback out of those players do y'all think is the best?
Out of these four
Brady.
teams?
Mm-hmm.
Brady.
I would say Aaron is the best, but he's not showing it right now, in my opinion. I mean,
I'll have to agree with you on that one. I have to say Aaron is probably the best. But his attitude right now sucks. It stinks. So yeah, but it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, you're right. His attitude is terrible. Like you just can't be looked at as the leader.
It's almost like he's saying right now. He's almost like he's saying, it's not me, it's everybody else. But it ain't me.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. He's saying. It's like, man, are you serious right now? It's like, dude, you're supposed to be the leader of this team. So. But you know what? Honestly, I'm loving seeing Green Bay implode because I'm just tired of them.
I got another question to ask y'all real quick. Thinking about San Fran and seeing Jimmy G, do you think if they'd have made the deal and got Kirk Cousins, you think San Francisco have a Super Bowl right now?
With Kirk Cousins?
If they had him instead of Jimmy G.
I don't know. I kind of put them two in the same category.
Yeah.
Well,
Jimmy's actually kind of bad.
I feel like Kirk Cousins has a lot of weapons in Minnesota, so that's why he's doing success.
So does Jimmy G.
But Kirk Cousins also had the fame with Shanahan when he was with Washington. That's who helped him get the big contract. I don't know. I seem to think I feel as though if they had Kirk Cousins, I think they'd have won that Super Bowl. I think they would have won
against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
He would have made that necessary throw that would have gave them that touchdown lead and beat him. I think he would have. I think they would have won.
No, he might have thrown that pick too.
Just like I said, it's just a question.
He probably do a couple of picks.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I'm curious to know I'm curious how San Francisco would look right now if Rich Card hadn't got hurt.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, if Trey Lance hadn't got hurt. So, especially now with the weapon of McCaffrey too. So, but yeah, Jimmy, he looked kind of bad in that 49ers. I mean, in the Chiefs game Sunday.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, anything else on that topic? All right, we will close out the hot topic of the week. You got a sound effect for that?
No sound effect.
You mean you're gonna steal somebody else's sound effect?
All right, y'all. Let's get into these games. The Thursday nighter. We had the New Orleans Saints going into Arizona. Saints lost this one 34-42. Kyler Murray, he got his top target back. Kyler Murray was 20 for 29, 204 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. Leading rusher for the Cardinals was Eno Benjamin, 12 carries, 92 yards, and 1 touchdown. Leading receiver for the Cardinals was DeAndre Hopkins, first game back, 10 catches, 103 yards, no touchdowns. On the flip side, we had Andy Dalton. He was 30 for 40, 361 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Way too many passing attempts for Andy Dalton. Taysom Hill was 2 for 2 for 48 yards. Allen 39 yards. Andy Dalton was actually the second leading carrier, 4 carries for 21 yards. Chris Olave, however you say it, 7 receptions for 106 yards. In place of the injured Thompson, doing his thing. So I'll start this one off. This was a pretty good game, like except for those back-to-back pick sixes that Andy Dalton threw. But I did pick the Cardinals in this one, and I got this one right. Did y'all see the replay of after one of his pick sixes?
Dude's in the air,
diving into the end zone. That was like
they got a beautiful picture of that. I feel bad for Andy, but that joke is crazy.
That's a classic right there. But yeah, I mean, where's the run game for the Saints? I'm trying to pull out Alvin Kamara. That's just not going to cut it. I mean, they have him involved in the game. He had 7 receptions for 56 yards too, but Andy Dalton shouldn't be throwing 47 times. I mean, you gotta, and they were behind in the game, but you got to get that running game going.
He kind of put himself in that position throwing those.
Yeah, that's exactly with those pick sixes. So you just can't have him throwing that much. So I picked the Cardinals, and I did get this one right. Ryan, who'd you have?
In this one, I had the Saints. I picked this one wrong. The Saints, like you said, Herman, I mean, they put up 494 yards on 71 plays. The Cardinals only had to put up 326 yards on 60 plays, thanks to the defense putting in their 2 touchdowns. The name of the game was the turnovers. Not only the 2 interceptions, but they also gave up a fumble in this game. I'm sorry, they threw 3 interceptions. I'm sorry, 3 interceptions. Only the 2 of them just scored. And the best thing about him, the Saints, they were 46% on third down. The Cardinals were only 30%. But again, they were able to play their game because they were in the lead. So it came down to turnovers in this game. So I picked the Saints and I picked it wrong.
Marcus.
Yeah, I picked the Cardinals. You can hear me talking?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, he wasn't saying nothing, no.
Oh,
we couldn't hear you, Herman.
We couldn't hear you.
We didn't hear you.
Oh, you couldn't hear me or me? Oh,
just like solid. We like, who's Herman gonna pick?
Yeah, I said Marcus like twice.
I ain't hear you. Yeah, I picked the Cardinals. I just had faith in them. It was a home game for them, and I didn't feel like the Saints were up to the task. And like you guys have already stated, 2 back-to-back pick sixes. You're already down 14 points in the game. Saints aren't built to come back for something like that, So maybe some other teams can pull it off. Maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Bills, and then you got 3 total interceptions. Usually again comes down to who wins the turnover battle, and they won a turnover battle. So I picked the Cardinals, and I was right.
Mark.
Yeah, I took the Saints in this one. I lost this one, man. But I got to give Kyler Murray a little credit, man, because he took leadership of this offense this time. He was pretty much proving that, look, y'all can say what y'all want to about the game plan and not the non-studying, But y'all gonna blame the screw up on me. Y'all need to get these plays in here on time so I can get this thing ran properly. I gotta give him
How
that.
would you feel real
Yeah,
quick?
because there was a little blow up on the sideline.
Yeah, how would you feel if you was the head
absolutely.
coach and he came at you like that?
I'm like, boy, if you don't sit your modern warfare playing butt out.
He told him to calm down. Calm.
Yeah, but I like
I
that
know
though. I like that. He was taking leadership of the team, of ownership of it. I did like that. Did you know this is their first victory at home since last year?
Yeah.
They lost all the 8 games last year at home. This is their first win at home since last year. D-Hop came back. He was big. That was nice.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
10 catches for 103 yards, 14 targets. He was on money. So, kudos to them finding them and getting them back in the offense. But yeah, I took the Saints and I lost this one.
All right, let's move to our next game. Doesn't look like our fan is here tonight, but we'll go ahead. Oh, there he is. He's watching. Okay, I didn't see him jump in there. Let's get into this one, fellas. So the Kansas City Chiefs traveled to San Francisco and put a whooping on those 49ers. Patrick 5 for 34, 423 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Thanks, Pat. Got me my fantasy win. Appreciate that. Yeah, how you say this dude's last name?
Which one?
Pacheco?
Pacheco?
Yeah, Pacheco. Carries for 43 yards. This one, Juicer was the leading receiver. 7 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Not to be outdone, Marquise receptions, and then of course Travis Kelce, 6 receptions for 98 yards. I guess you could say he was kind of shut down for Kelce. Those are kind of not great numbers. On the flip side, Jimmy Garoppolo, 25 for 37, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 sacks. Jeff Wilson Jr., 7 carries for 54 yards. And the new acquisition, Christian McCaffrey, 8 carries for 38 yards, not bad. George Kittle showed back up for a change, 6 receptions for 98 yards. Brandon Ayuk was the second leading receiver, 7 for 82 yards. Mark, I'll let you start this one off.
Hey,
Who'd you
real
have
quick,
in this
Armin, didn't you say you said I thought him and Kittle both had 98 yards. How many yards did you say Kittle? I'm sorry, not Kittle. Kelce. How many yards did Kelce have?
Kelce had 98.
Yeah, because they was talking about that. It was tight ends day, and they both had 98 yards.
Yeah, tight ends day.
Okay.
Because they were trying to get, I think they were trying to get Kelce a touchdown, but they couldn't. Because they took out a lot of the starters, but still in there. So, all right, Mark.
Yeah, I took the Chiefs on this one, and they won it. The 49ers went up 10-0. After that, that interception, and then you figure Kansas City went on a basketball run. They ran off some points after that. I mean, the biggest thing is, you got to score against Kansas City. You can't settle for field goals. You can't. You gotta score to keep up with them. McCaffrey played. He wasn't that effective in this particular game, but Jimmy played bad though. He played real bad. But Kansas City was victorious, and I chose them, and they won. Sorry, Vince.
Sorry. I'll go behind you, Mark. Yeah, I picked the Chiefs also. No way I was going to pick 49ers over the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know what the 49ers are doing right now. Their success last year was behind Debo. Debo had 1 carry for 2 yards. He had 5 receptions.
He had a few catches. Yeah.
He had 5 receptions for 42 yards.
Oh.
So, and now you've added McCaffrey. I don't know. I don't know. He's getting away from the formula that he had the success with. Like Mark said, Garoppolo, he's I don't know. He's forcing things. He's not playing that well. He took 5 sacks from the Chiefs, and they're not known for this stellar defensive line. They got Chris Jones. That's about it. I think that you can name off of their D line. I can't name anybody else, but it just wasn't a good game for them, and they had to settle a couple of field goals, and you got to score touchdowns against the Chiefs. So I picked Kansas City, and I got this one right. Marcus.
So I picked the Chiefs. The 49ers, I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a match for the Chiefs. And they showed it, like you said, they jumped out to an early lead, but then turnovers and stuff, and then the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. And, if anything, if they wanted to, from a comeback from a loss last week to the Bills, the Chiefs really came out and showed out this week. And, so I picked the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won.
And Brian.
Yeah, you guys hit it on the head. I went with the Chiefs. We all went with the Chiefs. I mean, we knew the Chiefs was going to win this game before the game started. 529 offensive yards on 58 plays. The Niners had 444 yards on 72 plays. They did get time of possession, 33 minutes and 45 seconds to 26 minutes and 15 seconds for the Chiefs. But like you guys said, the Niners threw those 2 picks. They also lost a fumble, and like Herman said, allowed 5 sacks to the Chiefs defense. You can't, A, you got to score with them. B, you can't give them the ball to let them score more. So Mahomes was only sacked once in the whole game. So the Niners defense didn't really come through like they needed them to. So I had the Chiefs and I had the right one.
Vince, you want to chime in at all? Kind of quiet in the chat there. I hope you
Look, I just hear crickets. Crick, crick,
right.
All right. He was quiet this week in the group too, wasn't he?
Yeah. You knew it was going to be a quiet week in the group. Start posting, I think, like today. Start posting a few things here and there.
Yeah.
Vince, feel free to chime in the chat, and we'll put it up.
Y'all leave it alone.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The New York Giants traveling down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Giants pulled this one off 23-17. Daniel Jones, 19 for 30, 202 yards, one touchdown, and was sacked 1 time. Riding on the back of Saquon Barkley, 24 carries, 110 yards. Daniel Jones had 11 carries for 107 yards. That's ridiculous. Receiving, Slayton, he had for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Trevor Lawrence, 2 for 43, 310 yards, no touchdowns, but no. Travis Etienne Jr., 14 carries for 114 yards. Looks like they found their lead back, especially since they traded James Robinson. Christian Kirk, 7 receptions, 96 yards. I'll let Brian start this one off. Who'd you have, Brian?
In this one, I picked this wrong. I picked the Jags, man. I wasn't a believer in the Giants. I felt like that 5.
You are a hater.
I was. I didn't feel like their start was legit. I thought. I mean, not that the Jags are some door-busted team, but I thought it would be an opportunity for them to show who they really are. But they ran. They had 70 plays for 436 yards. They rushed for 236 yards. The Jags had 65 plays for 452 yards. The defense did get an interception, but the Giants did give up 1 sack. The most telling stat was the Giants were 50% on 3rd down. The Jags were pretty good too. They were at like 46%, but I picked the Jags, and the Giants did what they had to do, so I picked that one wrong.
Mark?
Yeah, this one I took the Giants on this one. Jacksonville blew this game. They blew it. It was 8 minutes pretty much left in the game, 4th quarter, and they were in field goal range, and they went for it on 4th and 1. 3 points wasn't good enough. If they had kicked the field goal, they would have forced the Giants to come downfield and have to score a touchdown more so on the field goal to tie it up. But no, they go for it on 4th down, and they don't get it. Momentum goes to the Giants. Giants go down, score, get the victory, and had the last play of the game and made the tackle short of the touchdown. But Jacksonville blew this game to me. But the Giants won it, and I picked the Giants, and they were successful.
Marcus.
I also picked the Giants. This is actually I thought it was a pretty close game. It looked to be evenly matched, but the Giants just I think they just had more power. Saquon. I keep saying every week I said Saquon is back. He's doing his thing. It's hard to believe Daniel Jones has that many rushing yards. He looks so slow when he's running. I've never seen somebody look so slow when he's running, and he runs straight up. Like with his neck up. I'm like, dude,
he does.
Oh yeah,
he's not aerodynamic at all. But it's crazy to see him win. But the Giants are doing their thing, and right now, Giants looking good. What 5-1, 6-1,
6-1.
Yeah, 6-1. That tells you everything you need to know. But I picked the Giants, and the Giants won. Oh,
Yeah,
one more thing. One more thing. So look at the stats. It's hard to I never really noticed this. They Giants only had 8 drives in the game, and the Jacksonville Jaguars only had 9. Drives count. I didn't realize just how few drives you actually get.
Yeah.
in a football game. So basically, if you divide it up, that's 4 in the first half, 4 in the second half. Drives count. You got to score in these drives.
Yeah, but I was with Brian on this one. I picked the Jags. I'm just not. It's hard to believe in the Giants because of Daniel Jones, but he's getting it done, and they're putting him in positions where to win. Over. Obviously, he's taking off from the pocket when he needs to, because this dude had 100 and something yards rushing, and like you said, Marcus, he looks like a turtle out there on the field. It's like ridiculous. Like, how can nobody get in this dude? Like, what is going on? But and they're running Barkley. I guess the question is are they going to wear him out before it really counts later on in the season? Because he's carrying the ball a lot right now, so they're going to have to maybe find a little bit of balance to get somebody else involved in the run game, maybe to take some of the pressure off of them. And like Mark said, Jacksonville just they blew that game. They definitely blew the game. They really had a chance to win this. So I picked the Jaguars, and I was wrong. And on another note, the Giants are 3-0 on the road, and those are the games you want to win as road games.
Absolutely,
that's very important. So
yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next game, which was the Seahawks. So we had the Seattle Seahawks traveling into LA to take on the Chargers. Seahawks won this one 37-23. Geno 20 for 27, 210 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. Kenneth Walker III, 23 carries for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good grief. Marquise Goodwin, 4 receptions, 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the flip side, Justin Herbert, 33 for 51.
Too many passes.
Yep. 2 sacked 3 times. Austin Eckler, 9 carries, 31 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiver was Austin Eckler, 12 receptions, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike Williams was second leading receiver, 7 receptions, 86 yards. The Chargers did lose their safety, Jackson, and then they also lost Mike Williams in this game.
Cornerback, J.C. Jackson.
Cornerback, J.C. Jackson. So that's just going to be worse for them. But Mark, who do you have in this one?
I took the Chargers in this one, man. Seattle surprised me. At the beginning of the season, if I had to talk about Seattle, I'd have expected them to be in the bottom of this division this year. But I mean, they playing well. Geno is playing excellent. He's playing well. They got some young draft choices. They are playing ball right now, doing well. but they seem to be confident at with doing what they're doing. So, but I lost this one. I took the Chargers on this one, and I lost.
Brian?
Yeah, I was with you, Mark, and I had the Chargers then, and I just didn't anticipate the Seahawks running offense. Putting up 213 yards on 34 attempts. Both defense played decent. Geno got sacked twice. The Chargers quarterback got sacked 3 times. The offense, the total offense was 404 yards for the Seahawks on 63 plays, which is not what you were really expecting this year from the Seahawks offense. But they really surprised me this game. They ran the ball well. They kept it away from the Chargers. They made him pass, and then he really, they just had their receiver come back, Keenan Allen, but he really didn't contribute. I think he had 2 catches for minimum yardage. Yeah, so he didn't really contribute. And without Mike Williams, it looked like it's going to be tough for the Chargers to stay up in that with the Chiefs. So I picked the Chargers. I picked it wrong.
Marcus?
I also picked the Chargers. Like you guys been saying, Seattle came to play. Chargers have been a real disappointment this season. I don't know what's going on with them, but I know one big problem is on third down they were 5 of 15. You're not going to win a lot doing that. And then on 4th down, they love that 4th down. They were 1 of 3. So, they can't convert third downs. Then you go for the 4th down, can't convert those. It's just Chargers not looking like I thought they would be this year. But I picked the Chargers and I was wrong.
Yeah, I picked the Chargers on this one and I was wrong. Seattle jumped out to like a 17-0 lead on the Chargers. I get, you got to start throwing, but Justin Herbert, quarterback's banged up. He's got this rib issue. He's really looked bad since he injured his ribs, and you have him throwing 51 times. There's no. He was sacked 3 times, so that's just more pounding on those ribs. You got to get that run game going. They're hurt right now. He didn't have his top receiver in Keenan Allen. He did come back, but he's got to work his way back into things now. And now just lost Mike Williams. It's just not looking good for the Chargers right now. And I think this might just have been a preview. Moving forward, they're 4-3 right now. They better hope they have some easy games on the horizon, because the way that they're playing, they're not going to beat a whole lot of teams. Chargers, and it looks like we all got this one wrong. And props to Seattle though, because good football. Their run ball is not throwing too many attempts. It looks like they got a good balance going right there.
And the defense is really surprising me. That defense is better than I thought it was.
Hey, man, Geno was throwing his hat in there as an MVP candidate.
Oh, boy.
Slow your
rolls.
I'm telling you.
It's always somebody got to go off the wall with something, right?
I'm just saying.
Doing good. Had a good show going, Mark.
They drafted very well last year too. They drafted very well. Those drafters are
credibility. And not to mention,
Right.
Marcus, they still got 2 first-round draft choices coming from Denver from the Russell Wilson trade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Let's get into this next one, the Sunday night game. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling into Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins squeaked out the win, 16-10. Dolphins actually didn't even score in the second half. The Steelers, actually, there was no scoring in the second half. Nobody scored in the second half. That's kind of ugly. Let's start on the Steelers side. Kenny Pickett, 32 for 44, 257 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, and he was sacked twice. That's too many attempts for your rookie there. Got to figure out a way to get your run game more involved. Najee Harris, 17 carries for 65 yards. He's still milking that knee mark.
No, it was a foot problem, and he changed his shoe.
Okay.
Yeah, they put like a plate or something in his shoe.
Well, they moved the plate is what they did, so it gave him a little more flexibility in the foot. But it's hard to run with no offensive line blocking. So
yeah. Leading receiver was Pat Fryermuth, 8 receptions for 78 yards. I guess everybody was just getting their tight ends. Like everybody was just the thing to get your tight ends really involved this weekend. On the flip side, Tagovailoa, messed it up. 21 for 35, 261 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no yards. Jalen Waddle, 4 receptions for 88 yards. Tyreek Hill, second leading receiver, 7 receptions for 72 yards. Marcus, I'll let you start this one off. Who'd you have in this one?
Yeah, I picked the Dolphins. I felt like with Tua coming back, they were able to win. They weren't spectacular, like you said, no scoring in the second half, but they pulled out enough to win. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They put out enough to win. I picked the Dolphins.
Yeah, I had the Dolphins in this one too. Second half was kind of a snoozer. The Dolphins look really fast on the field, though, man. They have a lot of speed out there in Hill, Waddle, and Mostert. The way it started off, I mean, I thought it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
but then Pittsburgh made their adjustments, I guess, in the second half, and they just closed out. They just closed out the Miami's offense, but unfortunately, Pittsburgh couldn't get their offense going. 40 attempts is way too much for Kenny Pickett. Again, got to get that running game. I know you got to find a way. Get your 5 best offensive linemen on the field. And then the run. But again, I said it at the beginning of the show. I think that Pickett is actually going to be a good quarterback. It's just going to take some time. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if I lone wolfed this one because I picked Pittsburgh.
You didn't.
Oh, okay. I was like, what in the world? But I mean, it like you said, Herman. I mean, it looked like the Miami Dolphins was just going to run the gambit on it. It's going to be a boring game, but Pittsburgh kind of came back in it, begrudgingly and made it a little bit close and made it at least a 1-score game. Time of possession was in favor of the Steelers, 33 minutes and 16 seconds to 26 minutes and 44 seconds for the Dolphins. But total offense was 341, but the Dolphins amassed 372. Like you said, Herman, they needed to get the running game. I mean, Pittsburgh put 95 yards of rushing, but they only had 23 attempts. They need more attempts rushing, less passing, and I think they would have had a better outcome. They're putting too much on the rookie too fast. So I picked Pittsburgh, and I picked this one wrong.
And Mark, of course, you can close this one out.
Dolphins didn't score at all the second half, and they beat the Steelers. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
I took a page out of your book this time, Herman.
Oh, yeah, I know the feeling. Let's get into the last. Chicago Bears mopped the Patriots 33-14. Justin Fields was 13 for 21, 179 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times. Fields was also the leading rusher for the Bears. 14 carries, 82 yards, and 1 touchdown. David Montgomery followed him up with 15 carries, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. Bears' run game was huge. 45 carries total, 243 yards rushing. It's not likely to lose a game like that. That was wow. So on the flip side, the Patriots had a little bit of a quarterback controversy going. Mac Jones, he started the game. He was 3 for 6 for 13 yards and 1 interception. And then here comes Bailey Zappi, 14 completions on 22 attempts, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. He was sacked one time. Patriots have no running game either. Ramondre Stevens, 11 carries for 39 yards, 1 touchdown. And leading receiver was Devontae Parker, 68 receptions on, I'm sorry, 3 receptions on 68 yards. Yeah, that would have been crazy, 68 receptions. It's funny because during the game I'm watching and when Mac Jones threw the pick and they pulled him out, and then Zappe comes in and takes him down the field and scores a touchdown. Y'all said I hit the group and I was like, well, Mac Jones just lost his starting job. But some pictures came out of the ball that he threw. That pick, the ball hit the wire for the camera. The ball actually hit the wire, and I think that's what took it off trajectory and caused that pick. So
the wire is that low?
I guess, or he launched the ball that high. I mean, but now Bill Belichick says we have to see who the starting quarterback is. So
no, he announced it. He announced
he
it.
did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's going back with
He's going back with Jones.
Matt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So yep, Bears won this one 33-14. I will start this one off, and I got this one wrong. I picked the Patriots because I figured there's no way that Bill Belichick's defense wouldn't be able to stop whatever Chicago was going to put on the field, and I was wrong. That rush game was ridiculous. It really was. Justin Fields actually, that's the first time I've seen him, and I was actually semi-impressed with his game. I mean, he had a good game. They didn't ask him to throw too many times, and he uses his legs. So I picked the Patriots. I got this one wrong. Mark?
Yeah, this one I got wrong too. I took the Patriots. Man, I thought the Patriots was trending up, man. I can't believe this one. The Patriots were physically whooped. The Bears whooped them physically and outcoached them. It was crazy. You talk about Zappe. The crowd was cheering, Zappe, before he got in there. But if Belichick would have won this game, this would have moved him up to second place with George Hollis, just below Don Shula. But Bears wasn't having it. But I took the the Patriots, and I lost this one.
Marcus?
So remember last week I started off this prediction by saying the devil is alive. You think I'm gonna pick the Patriots? Well, the devil must have gave me a big FU. I should have picked the Bears. I was surprised that they were able to go into Foxborough and beat a Bill Belichick team like that. That was just crazy.
They whooped them.
Yeah,
they whooped
them. They really did.
When you get that many rushing yards and then you start swapping out quarterbacks like that, I don't know. I think Belichick. I think he panicked. Mac Jones wasn't playing that good, but you stick with your quarterback, throughout the game, and the most quarterback. So kind of like he kind of listen to the crowd or whatever. It just didn't make sense. I mean, and just like you said, Herman, after he went out scored a touchdown, I was like, oh, Mac Jones lost his job. Then it turned out maybe Mac Jones didn't lose his job.
It was like, well, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, I picked the Patriots, and I was wrong, very, very wrong.
All right, Brian, go ahead and wrap this one up.
Yeah, we were all wrong on this one, man. I just knew that this was going to be a debacle. I knew I was going to be able to take a nap. I just didn't know I was going to take a nap because the Bears were going to run ruckshot all over the New England's defense. And Marcus, Belichick did say that he was going to switch the quarterbacks in and out in this game.
He said it before the game or after the game?
He said it before the game. Okay. He said it before the game. So he apparently was supposedly in the plans, but I don't know. Like, I agree with you, Marcus. I think you should have let Mac Jones, take his lumps and get back into it. I mean, he was coming off an injury. You should have let him just continue to play. Did y'all see on the sidelines when he did get benched and they had a shot of Mac Jones? Somebody asked him something. He was like, "I'm out," and you could read it. Like, "I'm out." It was like crazy that they showed that, but you got to give. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Which Bears team is it going to be? I mean, are you going to be the Bears team that bored us when you played the Commanders? Or are you going to be this team where you're running all over the defense, just putting your will against them, man? I'm telling you, we played the Bears this week, man. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
And I never say this, man. Matt, what's the coach? Matt Eberflus, what's his name?
Yeah.
He did a marvelous job of coaching them.
He did. I mean, like Herman said, he didn't throw too much, but when he did throw, he threw precise picks to plays the receivers that were wide open. They would catch the ball, they would get down, or they would get a few yak yards. He never had the ball in like danger or like possibly throwing an interception. You're right, Mark. And he made plays on it, man. It was like great offense, which I did not need to see the week before you played the Cowboys. Okay, so I'm gonna need for y'all to find that game plan y'all had against the Commanders and put that back into play when y'all play us on Sunday. But I picked the Patriots. I picked this one way.
And if I remember correctly, we pretty much all stated we won't be surprised if the Patriots kept the Bears scoreless.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, Marcus. The week before, you had the number 2 ranked offense, and they shut them out. The Bears can't be ranked that high offensively. You know what I'm saying? And you can't stop them from doing anything.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly. That was pretty ugly. All right, let's get into this week's picks. We're gonna start it off. Oh yeah, that's right.
No, we don't have to. No, we really don't.
How'd you guys do?
I was 4-2.
Thank you, Chiefs, for at least making me go getting the goose egg, man. Good Lord.
Hey, it'd be like that some weeks. It's just how it is. All right, let's get into these games. We got the Thursday nighter. The 4-3 Ravens are traveling to Tampa to take on the 3-4 Buccaneers. The Ravens are giving up 1.5 points. I will let Brian start this one off.
All right, the predictor has Tampa Bay winning by 58%, which was a surprise. Last time they played was in December 15th of 2018. Baltimore won 20-12. I'm probably gonna lone wolf this one, but I'm gonna go with the Bucs.
Mark.
I'm going to drink the purple Kool-Aid on this one. I'm taking the Ravens on this.
Marcus.
Both teams are looking not that great right now, but I might have to trade the purple Kool-Aid and go with the Ravens. I got more faith in the ball right now than I do got Brady and the Bucs. So I'm going with the Ravens.
This is funny because Brian, I thought I was going to lone wolf. So I'm going to go with the Bucs here. I think they're gonna get back on track this week. I don't know. This is the team we don't expect them to beat, and this is the one they're gonna beat. I just have this feeling Brady's gonna get it together and they're gonna get back on track. So I'm going.
I mean, Herman, if you look at the Bucs, I mean, offensively, I don't know what they're doing wrong, but they got basically everybody back except for Julio.
Yeah.
So they should do better. And when the offense does better, the defense will do better. The defense just is on the field way too long. The offense keeps doing 3 and outs. So. Yeah. Hopefully we're right.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the 3-4 49ers traveling 3 Rams. The 49ers are giving up 1.5. Mark, I'll let you start this one. Who you got?
This one, I'm going to take the home team Rams on this one. I think they start their upward climb now on this week. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm with you on this one, Mark. I'm going to go with the Rams also. They're coming off a bye week. They're going to get things together. I'm going to say this, though. If Matthew Stafford continues to try to force the ball to Cooper Kupp, they're not going to be successful. You need to get Allen Robinson involved in these games.
Tell him again, Herman. You need Allen Robinson to do something.
Hold up.
In these games.
Didn't Allen Robinson get a touchdown or something the last time they played? I remember his name being mentioned.
I think the last game they only targeted him like 2 times.
Yeah, he's he's on a milk carton right now, man. You paid for this dude. Why are you not throwing him the football? Come on, get it right. Brian, who you got in this one?
Man, I'm gonna go the other way, guys. You know, the Niners are actually predicted to win 53% of the time. The last time they played was last year in October. The Niners won 24-9, and for some reason, Shanahan has the Rams number.
He owns them.
Yeah, so I think the trend continues, and I'm gonna go with the Niners.
And Marcus.
I'm also got to go with the 49ers. I don't care if the Rams had a bye week. I just don't have any faith in them right now. They keep forcing it to Cooper Kupp. Stafford keeps taking all these sacks. And I just don't believe the 49ers are going to – I think they're going to make a comeback after that huge loss last week. So I'm picking the 49ers.
And Marcus, tell them they got a weekend with McCaffrey too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to see. All right, next game, the 3-4 Patriots traveling to New York to take on the 5-2. Yep, I said 5-2 Dolphins, not 2-5. The 5-2
Jets.
Dolphins.
Jets.
I'm sorry, Jets. I'm sorry.
Jets.
I guess this one's even.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know what the spread was when I looked it up, and I forgot to add it. I apologize.
All right, we're gonna talk about that. Okay. So, who you got in this one, Marcus?
I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think the Jets they're on fire right now. They're hot. The Patriots are looking like some garbage. It's a great time to be a New York football fan, whether you like the Jets or like the Giants. So I'm gonna go with the Jets.
That's true. Mark, who you got in this one?
Jets, Jets. Taking the Jets.
Brian?
Man, I'm probably going to loan with this one, but the predictor has the Patriots winning 51% of the time. The last time they played, the Jets lost 13-54. That was in October of last year. That can't be right. That ain't right. Disregard that. They had to play. It was like 21. They had to play at 22. I hate NFL. I'm not using the NFL's website anymore, man, because it's just terrible. But if the running back didn't get hurt, he was really he was that offense for the most part. Not saying that James Robinson can't come in, but it's his first game coming back. Belichick, I think, is itching for a victory because of that bad defeat against Chicago. I'm not positive that the Jets can do the same thing offensively as Chicago did, running on them like that. So I think the Patriots will get a dub. I'm going to take the Pats.
After being run over top of like that, you're not fixing that run defense in 1 week. It's just not going to happen. The Jets may not have the threat of the running quarterback, but they did just pick up a new shiny toy. I'm going with the Jets, man. I never thought I would ever pick the Jets over the Patriots, but after seeing what happened with the Patriots last week and seeing how the Jets are playing, they smell blood in the water. You think the Jets aren't going to be up for this game? Oh man, I'm going with the Jets.
I figured I'd get one in this time, sooner or later.
All right, let's move on. You got the 2-4 Raiders traveling to New Orleans to take on the 2-5 Saints. Garbage versus garbage. The Raiders are giving 2 points. Mark, I'll let you start this one off. Who you got?
I mean, you could flip a coin in this one, man. I think I'm gonna take the Saints in this one. They're home. I think I'm going with the Saints.
Marcus?
Yeah, you can flip a coin, but I think I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think the Raiders got more talent. If Josh Jacobs, if he has the same week he had this past week, especially in fantasy for me, Raiders are gonna pull this one out easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders on this one too. Now I'm gonna go with the Raiders because I'm gonna say the Raiders have the better quarterback. Either whichever one starts for the Saints. I don't think Jameson is ready yet. Haven't heard much about if they're getting their wide receivers back. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think they might get things on track. And like you said, Josh Jacobs, if he gets to running the ball, he can keep the ball away from the Saints, and it'll be a good game. I'm gonna go with even though it's two bad teams, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Brian?
Mark, looks like you're gonna be lone wolf in this one, buddy, because I'm going with the Raiders as well, man. The predictor also has the Raiders at 63%, and the last time they played, Vegas won 34-20, and that was in September of 2020. But I'm agreeing with Marcus and Herman. I think that the Vegas has the better quarterback. I think they have comparable running back. They definitely have the better wide receiver, and they got a good defense, man. The Raiders better not let this one slip. Give me the Raiders.
Hey, can you rewind it back? I'm changing my pick. I'm changing. No, wolf it, baby.
All right. Next game, we have the Sunday Nighter, the 3-4 Packers going up against the 5-1 Bills. The Bills are giving up 10.5 points.
That's
Are
so
you kidding me?
disrespectful.
It's really, I mean, I'm sure when they scheduled this game put this game on the schedule, Sunday night did not know that the Packers were going to be no 3-4. I don't think there's a whole lot to discuss on this one. I'll go first. It's no way I'm picking the Packers. They are a dumpster fire right now. Give me the Bills, and the Bills will win big. Marcus, who you got?
Yeah, I'm also Bills Mafia. Bills are going to win, and they're going to win big.
Mark.
Aaron Rodgers need to go play video games with his wide receivers. I don't think it's going to help in this game. I'm taking the Bills.
And Brian. So,
Man.
Wait, real quick. There was a story that came out with it was the Chiefs, I think it was.
It was the Chiefs. It was my
yeah.
They all got together and played
Friday night. They got
Duty.
together.
Yeah,
It was playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
and Juju was talking about how the camaraderie was
the
tight and everything.
communication and
He believes
everything.
that helped them in the game. So that's why I got that.
Kyler Murray wasn't there playing too? Kyler Murray wasn't there playing?
They was probably
they let them into the clan or whatever it is. Yeah, the predictors with
Brian.
you guys. The predictor has them winning 83%. Last time they played was September 30th, 2018. The Packers won 22 to goose egg. But I'm no dummy. I'm going with Buffalo.
All right, and the last game, the Monday night game, we have the 4-3 Bengals going into Cleveland to take. Bengals are giving up points on this one. Marcus, who you got?
I just feel like this might be a close one. I mean, the Browns' run game is no joke, but I'm going to go with Burrow and the Bengals.
Mark?
I think the Bengals are putting together their little mojo right now. They looked good last week. I think they carried them
really good last week.
I'm taking the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals.
Brian?
Yeah, man, you're right, Mark. The Bengals, they put up like 300 some yards in the first half last week.
Yeah,
That
Burrow
joint
has
was crazy.
300-something yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half, I think.
The predictor has the Bengals winning 63% of the time. I'm jumping on the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Bengals. Burrow and Chase have lit a fire on my fantasy team. I'm crushing Muggs with them too. Hope they can keep that up. But these divisional games are always close, like Marcus said. And the Browns, if they're smart, the run game. But I still don't.
Put pressure on Burrow. They got to put pressure on Burrow.
Yeah, I don't think the Browns can pull it off. I'm going with the Bengals. So those games for this week. And that basically wraps up our show. We'll do our final thoughts, and then we will get up out of here. Mark, you want to start with your final thought?
The only thing I have to say with my final thoughts is rebuild.
Your house, car.
He's pointing to the flag.
Yeah, he's pointing to the flag right
Okay.
there. Brian?
My final thought is thankful that Dakota Prescott made his return.
Return of the Dak.
It wasn't not necessarily a spectacular return, but nonetheless a building block. NFC, watch out.
I thought, thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate everybody that tunes in week in, week out. Soon we'll send the search party out for you. That's my final. Marcus.
He don't
My
have
final, my final thought is, y'all gonna kill me for this one, but in Heineke, I trust, especially over Carson Wentz. Keep doing what you're doing, Heineke.
that pick six he threw, and you still trust him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what's his name? Wentz would do a couple pick sixes, you know. So I go to do that throws the least amount of pick sixes. So, and Heineke, I trust. So before we get out of here, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Laird Game. We're on Twitter at The Laird Game 3. and on Instagram at the official delay of game. We may see you next week at the same bad time, same bad channel. We'll let you know. Peace. We out.
Peace.